let's play out this scenario. You just got accepted into your dream school. What do you do to be more social, meet more people that are also going to the same school? You join a Facebook group or a GroupMe. You realize that everybody's sending a bunch of messages looking for a roommate. I need a roommate. If you want a roommate with me, DM me. Then you start realizing it's time to look for a roommate. But there is one problem. There are thousands and thousands of potential roommate candidates. You don't know which one is a perfect one. You don't know how to handle the situation. So many people writing to you. You're writing to so many people, so many FaceTimes, so many Snapchats. So you're just like, what do I do to look for that perfect roommate? Now before you choose that perfect roommate, you always want to make sure you get to know them beforehand. You know, maybe message a couple of times back and forth, add them on Snapchat, maybe go through their Instagram. And if possible, if you guys do live in the same city, do some activity that, you know, reveals more about the other person. You know, maybe have some lunch, do something fun. But even when you interact with this person, whether it's, you know, socially or in person, you still don't know, how do I decipher if this is a good roommate or not? And that is why today I'm going to be telling you 5 things to consider when searching for a potential roommate. So first on the list is common interest. So you just started texting, Snapchatting, you even met your potential roommate. You want to try to dig deep and try to find those common interests between you and your roommate. Not only is this going to spark conversation when you guys first meet, but it can even develop to a further bond that you and your roommate could have throughout college. What do I mean by this? So let's say you meet your roommate and you guys start talking about fishing, and you guys are both into fishing. You guys both fish a lot, you go on fishing trips. Well, there you go. You know that if you choose this guy or girl as your roommate, one day you guys can go like on a fishing trip together. Boom, there we go. Create something fun. And it doesn't even have to be about, you know, actually doing something. It might be about a TV show, or maybe you guys enjoy watching a certain sport. So you know that if you have that potential roommate, you guys can actually, you know, watch that during college. It'll be something that both of you guys enjoy doing. It will create a very positive environment within the dorm. Also, this really digs deep into lifestyle. A lot of people with common interests tend to do the same things. For instance, say you were an athlete during high school and your potential roommate was also an athlete during high school. Boom! There you go. You got a potential, not only roommate, but a potential gym buddy right there. By finding a common interest, even if it's just one, it gives something you and your potential roommate can easily bond over. The second thing you want to consider when you're looking for a potential roommate is something I like to call it dorm space. What dorm space basically means is, how are you going to use the dorm? Are you only going to be in the dorm to study and sleep? Or do you want the dorm to be like a social hotspot? You want friends, you want family over all the time. How organized and clean do you want the dorm to be? Do you want to eat in the dorm? Do you want your roommate to be eating in the dorm? Are you fine with you and your roommate sharing items? All of this falls into dorm space. And just to give it a little breakdown, let's say you're a very calm guy and you just want to use a dorm as a place to relax, to refresh, but you meet your potential roommate and they want it as a social spot. They want to have friends over. They want to bring in chicks or guys, whatever they're into. You know, what if you just want to study in the comfort of your own bed right there and your roommate's just like blasting music out of nowhere? That can't happen. If you don't want that, it's fine. You don't have to accept them as a roommate. That's why it's a potential roommate, not your actual roommate. That's why you're choosing a roommate that you want. These are all things to consider in terms of studying in the dorm. Oh, you ruined my production, bro. By the way, this is my roommate here, Nick. Another thing to consider between roommates. Will eating be allowed in the dorm? Would you feel comfortable if you're like falling asleep but you know your roommate is just demolishing the sandwich or just demolishing this bowl of Panda Express? Remember, it also goes the other way. What if you're always very hungry, you're a hungry guy like me, you're always going to be eating in the room and your roommate has like an allergy that doesn't allow you to eat? How would you feel about that? Do you like a clean environment? Do you like a messy environment? That's something you guys have to lay down. Personally, I like my room to be very organized. Luckily, look at me and my roommate's bed. We got it all covered up. What if you don't want to make your bed? Do you think your potential roommate would be, you know, comfortable having such a mess on the other side? Or would you feel comfortable having a mess on the other side? How would you feel about sharing? Is it okay if you and your roommate share like personal items, I don't know, shirts? What if you ran out of condoms? Hey, do you think your roommate could spot you? I mean, it is college. So this is basically what I mean by dorm space. How do you use a dorm? How do you guys interact within the dorm? Do you guys share stuff? That's basically to sum it up. Now the third category. Who do you want your roommate to be? Do you want your roommate to be your BFF? Do you guys want to be good bros? Do you not really care, you guys are just gonna see how things play out? Would you want somebody that's not as social with you, but you're gonna have a good living space? This is what I mean by who do you want your roommate to be. Imagine going to college having the fascination. Oh, I want my roommate to be my BFF, we're gonna hang out every day. But guess what? You choose a roommate that doesn't want that. And when you're bored out of your mind and you look to your roommate, they're not gonna invite you anywhere because they don't want you as a best friend. They just want you as a calm person to be living with. So you really have to establish that line of friendship when you meet your roommate. Another option is just to play it out. If you guys have common interests, you guys like each other in a way, that's fine. Just, be friends and just play out and see what happens. But fair warning, keep in mind that everything changes throughout college. But you really have to think about your roommate. Are you going to be able to be living with this person through the highs and through the lows? Whether it's as best friends or just as your roommate. And also keep in mind that on the long run, your roommate might not care for you. Now number 4, which is a very controversial and something that nobody talks about, is drugs and alcohol. It is college, alright? If not everybody, a lot of people like to experiment. They like to go out to drink, have a good time. They might be interested in trying drugs. They might be interested in trying weed. It's just the reality of it, okay? There's no hiding it. Your potential roommate might, be interested in doing these type of things. Even if you're not, or vice versa, you might be interested in doing these things, but your roommate will not accept them. So when meeting your potential roommate or writing to them, just set the line on drugs and alcohol. Be very open about it. Try to get your roommate to open up about it as well. I know since it's illegal, it might be hard, but just try to get into their comfort zone. And also, be brutally honest, okay? Don't say that you don't do anything when you know you do. Things that should go in the back of your head. What if your roommate said, yes, I want to experiment during college? How would you feel, hiding alcohol or even drugs in your dorm? Or vice versa, what if you buy these drugs and alcohol and your roommate rats you out? He tells the RA, oh, my roommate's, he's hiding weed and he's hiding bottles under my bed. So this is why you want to have a fine line when it comes to drugs and alcohol. I just can't emphasize it. Be very open. If you do smoke, tell your potential roommate, yes, I just smoke weed. If you don't smoke, don't try to be cool and say, oh yeah, I smoke weed, when in reality you don't. Because you're going to be stuck with a pothead. Okay, that's not really the case, but you get the point. Now the 5th thing and the last thing to consider when searching for potential roommate is mixing ideologies. When you talk to your roommate, do you realize that there's any certain ideology or any differences that might cause conflict in the future? Let's say you're a die-hard Republican and you meet your roommate, you guys have some common interests, but then you realize he or she is very liberal, and you guys go deep into politics and into social conversation, and you realize that you really hate him or her. You guys just shouldn't be roommates then. If that's the case, if you guys are always going to have, this feud over what's right or wrong in this world. Now this does depend on what type of character you are and how you feel about what you believe in, because some people might have a very weak or strong social or political influence compared to others. From a social standpoint, let's say you and your roommate have a different sexual orientation, or you guys have a different stance on it. Be open about it. Discuss more about it before you and your potential roommate decide to actually be roommates throughout college. With mixing ideologies, it's important to be very open. Be open about what you think about a certain topic. Don't cover up anything. You want to make sure that your potential roommate knows who you are, and you want to make sure that you know your potential roommate. If they say something that doesn't go towards your belief, don't disrespect them, don't be mean to them. Just listen and maybe steer the conversation somewhere else. Alright guys, that is all from me. I wish all of you guys luck when searching for a roommate. I hope you guys found this video useful, and always remember, stay hydrated.